Hey there, adventurers. Welcome to Let's Just Go podcast. I'm Kayla, and today I'm talking about the importance of working with a travel advisor. As you know, I am a travel advisor. You can book your own trip. A lot of people do, but I want to talk through the benefits of working specifically with the travel advisor, whether that is me or someone else, just because I think a lot of people don't realize that we're still here. Uh, this is no longer the world of going to the mall and seeing Doug Fox Travel with all their pretty pamphlets and the nice little ladies sitting behind the desk. That's not how we work anymore, but we are very much still here. We definitely can help you. I just want to make sure that you have an understanding of what exactly travel advisors do, what they don't do, and how they can be someone that advocates for you when you're planning a trip. So let's get right into it. What exactly does a travel advisor do? We are not just a call center. We're not just a ticket agent. I'm not just like sending you a direct link to exactly what you had planned on booking anyways and saying, okay, let me take care of it for you. I am here to make sure that the trip that you are planning is the trip that you have set your expectations on. Whether that means that I'm helping you lower those expectations, because I'll tell you what, I went to Disney World over spring break, and if you didn't know what you were going into before that trip, you would be very disappointed because it was very busy. Lines were very long. I actually was talking with the friends of mine that I was traveling with about the fact that if it was your first trip and no one had prepared you, it would be a disappointing trip. So, biggest thing, I'm here to help set expectations. I'm here to make sure that the trip that you want aligns with what exactly you're trying to accomplish. Like, if you tell me that you love to just relax on a beach, I'm not going to send you someplace where you're doing activities all day, every day, because clearly that's not what you want. I work directly with suppliers. That means your hotels, your cruise lines, your tour operators, your theme parks. I'm working directly with those people and those companies to make sure I'm getting you the best trip that I possibly can. I'm planning, I'm researching, I'm advocating for you, and I'm troubleshooting if need be. For example, I've got clients getting ready to go to Paris and they need to have an accessible transfer. And I have spent my time researching and advocating for this family to make sure that they have an accessible transfer to get them where they need to be while they are in Paris, because there is a lack of accessibility in Europe. Well, there's a lack of accessibility in this entire globe, but Europe, everything is so old that it's really important to make sure they're getting into an accessible hotel. They're doing tours that are accessible and just all of the things. I'm helping them do all of that. So I like to compare being a travel advisor sort of like being an accountant. Like, can you do your taxes on your own? Sure. But are you going to necessarily have the best time if you do them on your own? Probably not. I just want to make sure that you know that my job as a travel advisor is to make sure that you have a fantastic trip wherever you are going. I know the first thing you're thinking is, isn't it more expensive? Isn't there a cost associated with working with a travel advisor? And I'm gonna be honest with you, it depends on the travel advisor. Some travel advisors don't charge any fees. They do everything under the sun and they won't charge you any money. Some have no fees, but they also won't do as much as you may hope that they would. Others will have a fee regardless of what you're booking. For myself, I have different levels of planning. So if you are wanting to have really in-depth help, there is a cost associated with that. If you are wanting to have someone here to assist you, but you want to plan your own trip. So let's say you're going to Disney for a week and you want to plan all of your own dining reservations and figuring out what parks you're going to go to on what days and anything else that you may need. Let's say you want to build some lightsabers. If you want to do all of that on your own, there is not a fee working specifically with me. However, if you are wanting me as a travel advisor to book your dining reservations or get you the lightsaber reservation, or maybe you want to do a VIP tour. Those things, there's going to be a planning fee associated with it because of the fact that I am taking my time to go and do these extra things. Like, if you've never been to Disney, you have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, depending on what time zone you're in, to book dining reservations. So that is why I personally have a cost associated with that. I will tell you, it's not more expensive typically to book through a travel advisor because that price is usually baked in with what money a travel advisor would make anyways. So travel advisors are typically paid via commission. If you are booking a trip to Disney, the price is the same whether or not you book with a travel advisor. The difference is the money that would be commission going to a travel advisor is instead money that is going back into Disney's pocket. So that's just money that they're now able to put back into their own pockets versus supporting a small business and a travel advisor who's helping you to make sure you're having the best trip that you can have. So that's sort of the specifics of whether or not there's a cost associated with working with a travel advisor. I will tell you, there can be a lot of hidden costs if you're doing it on your own without any help. You're going to need to do a lot of research. You might make the wrong decision. If something goes wrong, you're on your own. For example, during the pandemic, I had to sit on hold for 8 hours to cancel a client's trip to Hawaii. It was a lot, but it was time that that person didn't have to spend on the phone. I've put together Google Maps for clients, showing them specific places that I think that they would really enjoy when they're going to a certain destination. I obviously am very well versed on Disney parks, and I'm able to provide that intel to my clients, which you wouldn't get. Yeah, you can Google and you can see, like Reddit and Facebook groups and all of that, but you can't necessarily trust what those people are saying because Sally's mom went to Disney 20 years ago and she wants to tell you all about the fast pass system. Well, guess what? The fast pass system's been gone for years. So keep that in mind, that when you work with a travel advisor, you're working with an actual professional that knows what they're doing. We have access to supplier relationships. That means maybe I can get you onboard credit on a cruise. Maybe there's going to be a special priority wait list that I can get you put on. I can give you insight into different room categories that you may not be aware of. Like, did you know what club level was? And do you know the importance of what booking club level looks like, depending on if you're doing that at a hotel, on a cruise, at a Disney park, so on and so forth? I have typically, when I'm booking trips, I have been there. And if I haven't been there, I know fellow advisors that have. I have a huge network that I coordinate with if I'm working on a destination that I'm not super familiar with, or I may sometimes even pass off to another agent that is more comfortable with the destination. It's really a matter of giving you that level of service that you can't get from Google or going to Costco Travel. My nemesis. Costco Travel. Why would you book a trip the same place that you buy your toilet paper? Just saying. In the similar vein of being able to do your own taxes, Costco is not going to be able to be quickly emailed or called if something's going on and they need some help. So that's just something to keep in mind. I'm here to help you and support you before your trip, during your trip, and after your trip. Let's say that you run into an issue, you've got travel insurance, but you're not sure what steps you need to take in order to file a claim. I'm here to help you with that. Let's say you get to the airport and find out that your flight has been delayed or even canceled. I can help you get things rebooked. Maybe you go to Disney and there's a hurricane and the place essentially shuts down and you're sort of stuck there. I'm here to help with those types of things. I'm here for real-time problem solving in the moment, making sure that you have a smooth trip. I'm making sure that from the moment you reach out to me and say, "Hey, I think I wanna go on this trip to this destination," till you come home and say, "Oh my gosh, our trip went great," I'm here for all of it. And I'll probably even bother you after that because if I'm being honest with you, a lot of my clients are now my friends because that's just sort of the relationship that we've built over my time working with them. So, where is a travel advisor gonna make the biggest difference for a trip? Obviously, Disney theme parks, they get really complicated really quickly, and having someone who knows the ins and outs is gonna be really helpful. A complex itinerary, maybe you've got multiple generations going, maybe you're going to multiple destinations, maybe you're doing a big group. Travel advisors are here to help. Let's say you're like, I want to go to Cancun, I want to go to an all inclusive, but I don't know which one. Hi, here to help. If you're wanting to do group travel, destination weddings, your first time traveling internationally, that can be really stressful. Again, here to help. Maybe you've got an anniversary or a honeymoon. Maybe you're doing a milestone birthday. These are all things that travel advisors are well versed in and can help you plan because we realize these are all high stress situations and we are the professionals and we are here to make it as low stress as possible. Okay, so let's talk about typical things that people say when it comes to working with a travel advisor. First one, they like to do their own research. Okay, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you from doing your own research, but I'm here if you have a question or if you're like, hey, I'm thinking maybe this, what about that? That's what I'm here for, to make sure that even if you are doing your own research, you've got a buddy to help you with this that knows a little more than you do about what specifically you're wanting to do and making sure that you've thought through the specifics of what you're researching. Another thing is people say they don't want to feel locked in. And I get that. And the thing is, I'm here to help you understand what things are flexible within booking your trip versus what things you have to be locked into. I know that a lot of times people don't recognize that when it comes to planning a Disney vacation, you only need to pay a $200 deposit to get your trip on the books. And from there, you can adjust as you need up until a 30 days prior to check in. But I think that a lot of people are like, okay, I want to go to Disney next month. Here's all my money. Let's book it. So advisors are here to help you with figuring out all of that. So they've had a bad experience with a travel advisor before. Maybe they had a family member who previously worked with a travel advisor and had bad things to say. And so they've decided they don't want to work with travel advisors. I will tell you, we are not all the same. We all have different specialties. We all have different personalities. I know I'm not for everyone, and I'm okay with that. I know that my clients value the work that I do, and I value my relationships with them. And I hope that no one's ever had a bad experience with me. And if they have, I hope that they come to me about it. But it's important to remember that at the end of the day, we are all people with our own personalities. And if you have a bad experience with one advisor, that doesn't mean you're going to have a bad experience with another. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm actually just going to book it all online. Like, I'm going to do Costco travel. That is one that I get frequently because I am from the land of Costco. The thing is, you're going to call because you have an issue. You're going to have to explain your situation. They're going to have to do a bunch of research on their side. You're going to have to sit on hold. It's a lot. You're wasting your time and energy because there's no one on the other end that has a good understanding of what exactly you're wanting to do on your trip and the specifics of that trip. And if that's how you roll, all right. But just know if you want that personalized experience, a travel advisor is going to be the direction you should go. Okay. But let's talk about the fact that not every travel advisor is for everyone, right? You don't want to find someone who's just a generalist saying, I can help you with anything. it's important to look for someone who specializes in the specific type of trip you're wanting to go on. So, for example, I started off doing a lot of Disney. I personally worked at Disney. I travel to Disney at least once a year, if not more. That's my specialty. However, I also go to Europe a lot and I specialize in Europe as well. There's more than one thing that I specialize in, but there are also things that I don't feel comfortable booking. I'm not a generalist. I'm not going to just say, yeah, sure, I can book that. I'll be upfront and say, I'm not sure that I'm the best fit for you. Here's someone else that might be better fit to help you with that specific trip. Ask your travel advisors about their personal travel experience. Where have they gone? If they are someone who travels exclusively to Hawaii when they go on vacation, they may not be the best person to help you plan a cruise. So that's something to keep in mind. See if they've got any certifications or any supplier relationships. For example, my travel agency is earmarked with Disney, which means that we book a lot of Disney and they see us as a valued partner. So that's important to some people. And it's something to make sure that you're looking out for. If the advisor doesn't seem like they have their shit together, they probably don't. I will be the first to say sometimes I feel like I don't have my shit together, but that is my neurodivergence. So I'm trying my hardest to get better about it. But I'm upfront with people. I let them know, hey, this seems like a great idea. Hey, I might not be a good fit. Or I'm at capacity right now, and unfortunately, I won't be able to help you with this trip. Here's someone else that might be able to help you. So keep in mind, we're not all created equal. I personally think that I'm a great travel advisor. You might not like working with me. That's okay. But if you have ever had a trip where you've come home and said, I really wish I knew this thing before I went on this trip, that's what travel advisors are here for. And I would love to help you plan your next trip. And just to give you sort of like a personal story about a trip that I've helped with. I actually had clients, they'd booked Disney with me previously, and they said, hey, we've decided we want to go on our first international trip. We don't know where to go. We're a little apprehensive because we've never traveled internationally before. Can you help us? And I put together a trip for them. They went to London and Paris and Disneyland Paris, and they had a fantastic time. And I put together a Google map that was all of the different places I thought they should go. And I put them in really centrally located places within the cities. And I made sure that they were starting off in an international destination where they spoke the same language so that they felt comfortable if something went wrong. And I also made sure that they had an easy way to transfer from one city to the other without needing to go through airports and figure all of that out. So I recognize that that is a stressful trip. And they also recognize that. And they had seen that I had previously been to London and Paris, and I'd done essentially the same trip that they were doing. So they reached out to me and said, hey, will you help us? And they had a wonderful time. I'm actually working on booking their next Disney trip right now. But it's really important to recognize that there's not a big difference in cost working with a travel advisor versus doing it on your own. But for me personally, time is money. And if you're like that, definitely work with a travel advisor because they're going to save you so much time. Anyways, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I would love to help you plan your next trip. And until next time, let's just go.